Hi everybody, I hope you're healthy, and to my students, I miss you much. In light of recent events, I am going to be temporarily changing the purpose and the content of my YouTube channel in order to reach out to my students and ensure that they are still getting time to practice on their specific goals. So for today, we are going to be working on this goal. In all, we will be breaking each lesson into 3 parts, just like we do in the classroom. We are going to start with a warm-up that is going to be mental math. We are going to follow that with a word problem, and then we will conclude with some equation practice. In all, this should take approximately 30 minutes if you are pausing the video at the suggested times in order to give yourself some think time and some time to work out these math problems. Our warm-up for this lesson is going to be some mental math. You will not need a pencil or an eraser or paper for this part of the lesson. I just really want you to use your brain, look at the numbers, and come up with some answers. So this is our warm-up number for today. I want to know how much is this number if you got 10 more. How much is this number if you got 100 more? How much is this number if you got 1,000 more? And the inverse, we want to know how much would you have if you had 10 less? How much would you have if you had 100 less? How much would you have if you had 1,000 less? We're going to pause right here so that you can take a moment to mentally think of these answers and then write them down. So our number for today is 534. If we add 10 more, then the tens place changes, and our new number is 544. If we add 100 more, then the hundreds place changes, and our new number is 634. If we add 1,000 more, the thousands place gets a number, and our new number is 1,534. For 10 less, the tens place would change, and our new number would be 524. For 100 less, the hundreds place would change, and our new number would be 434. For 1,000 less, we normally wouldn't do because for some students, they're at the point where they believe that they can't do that. But for others, if you have gotten into negative numbers, then 534 take away 1,000 is negative 466. Now it's time for us to work on our word problem. My students know that I always like for us to give it 3 reads. The first read is just so that we can simply understand what is happening in the problem. No numbers are necessary, just what's happening. The second read is for us to focus on the math. So pull out any numbers that are important to solving this problem, pull out any clue words that will be important to solving this problem. And then our third read is going to be so that we can focus on creating a plan. Let's get started. Here's our word problem. Let's start with our first read. In 1 week, Crystal read a book that was 274 pages long. The next week, she read a book that was 291 pages long. How many pages did she read in all during the 2 weeks? The first read is just to figure out what is happening. So this one is easy. There's a girl named Crystal. She's reading books for 2 weeks, and we want to know how many pages did she read. The second read with me this time. In 1 week, Crystal read a book that was 274 pages long. The next week, she read a book that was 291 pages long. How many pages did she read in all during the 2 weeks? For the second read, we want to pull out important math information that's going to help us solve our problem. So I'll give you a moment just to think about what is important to help us solve this problem. Okay, did you come up with the number 274, the number 291, and within our question, how many books did she read in all during the 2 weeks? The important math clue are the words in all. That should give us a clue of what kind of math to do. Our last read is for us to make a plan. So last time, let's read it together. In 1 week, Crystal read a book that was 274 pages long. The next week, she read a book that was 291 pages long. How many pages did she read in all during the 2 weeks? Now, on our second read, we pointed out that the words in all give us a clue about what kind of math to do. When we see in all in a question, it usually indicates that they want to know how much all together. And for that, we would be doing addition. So for our plan, you should be doing addition. 274 plus 291. Now that you guys have a plan, pause the video here so that you can work out your problem. Now let's end by working on a few equations in order to practice our math skills. We will do the first one together, and today I'm going to be focusing on using the algorithm. This is our first problem. Let's start with the ones place. 9 plus 4 is 13. Can we put the whole 13? No, we can only put the number from the ones place on the 13. And if you take a look at the number 13, I'll write it up here. We know that the 1 is in the tens place, the 3 is in the ones place. So the ones place number is going to go down, and the tens place number, the 1 is going to regroup to the tens place. Now, 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 2 more is 10. Can the whole 10 go into the bottom? No. If we put 10 onto our place value, our small place value chart there, we'll see that the 0 is in the ones place. Only the ones place number goes down. You put down your 0 and your tens place number regroups to the next place value. So regroups to the hundreds place. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. If I say this problem, it is 379 plus 124 equals 503. Now, because there's no teachers when you're being homeschooled, you want to be able to check your work and make sure that it is right on your own. The way we do this in my class is by using the inverse. In order to do that, we take the answer to our problem, we move it to the top. We have 503. We take the middle addend, which is 124, move it across. And this time, instead of doing addition, we will do the inverse, which means do the opposite math. And the opposite of addition is subtraction. So 503 minus 124. If 503 was the right answer, then the answer to this one will be 379. Let's see. 3 is too small to take away 4. So 3 needs to borrow from his neighbor. Unfortunately, his neighbor is a 0 and has nothing for him. So the 0 is going to borrow from the 5. 5 becomes 4. And now the 0 is 10. 3 borrows from the 10. 10 becomes 9 and gives 1 to the 3. And now instead of 3, it is 13. 13 take away 4 is 9. 9 take away 2 is 7. 4 take away 1 is 3. Now you'll notice that this answer matches my first addend. And that tells me that 503 was the correct answer. Okay, so if you got 503, then great. We're going to move on. I'm going to show you about 5 more equations that I would like you to work out using that same algorithm strategy on your own. Here are the 5 problems that we're going to be working on today. At the bottom, I gave us a little bit of a challenge bonus problem. Now would be a great time to pause your video so that you can still see the problems and work on them on your own piece of paper and see what you get. Okay, let's compare our answers so we can see how you did. Number 1 and number 2 are subtraction, so we will call our answers differences. So number 1, you should have come up with a difference of 88. Number 2, you should have come up with a difference of 554. Number 3 and 4 are addition problems, so our answers are called sums. Number 3, we should have come up with a sum of 912. Number 4, you should have come up with a sum of 857. And for our challenge problem, it's addition, so our answer is a sum. You should have come up with the answer 6,262. Okay, so if you're one of my students, then I have assigned some additional problems to you in our Google Classroom. If you're not already logged in there, please go there so that you can answer the additional equations that I have for you for today. If you're not one of my students, then you can make up your own problems just like these so that you can keep learning. Don't forget to like this video so that I know you guys were here and it gives me some indication that I should make some more videos for you. I'll see you next time. Remember, never stop learning.